This is Tech TV KNUST, and today we are at the Department of Architecture, where we've identified some students who've been able to come up with mobile clinic architectural concepts that they seek to use it to solve some real problems that Ghana is facing, especially in some remote areas in the country where electricity isn't available, but people over there need some support. These students have been able to come up with a concept which they believe will go a long way to provide health support to some of these remote areas we have as a country. And so we'll quickly have an overview of what exactly these students in the Department of Architecture in the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have been able to come up with. My name is John Essien, and this is Tech TV. Hello, Ms. Nyako.
Hello, sir.
Right. Kindly take us through, give us an overview of what exactly this whole concept is about and how you're going to use it to go a long way to solve these challenges that we have as a country.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. For our mobile clinic, in basic terms, in Act 3, we go through introductions where we basically do research into what we basically want to do. We research into existing situations, how they went about the solutions, how it has helped, so that we can brief ourselves in what to do. Okay, so we did intro sheets and about what clinics are all about, what goes into it. And then we went into mobile, how mobile something could be. So these are the research materials. Then we actually tackling this issue of abuse, drug others, disasters, and then those things, where we could actually drive to a place and then know how best we could solve the situation. Basically, those places, when it happens, they might not have a hospital at that instant, and then we could actually target rural areas too, where they also don't have clinics at all. Okay, so that's basically what we do. We research into things, understand what goes on and what it's all about. Okay, then we also have special and technical studies where we think about things that we could incorporate into the design that could help us be genuine. Maybe think of lighting, the interior spaces, the technologies that are involved in it. Okay, then from there we move to our site, where we actually have to target sites that we are going to work with. Sites like maybe KNUST, Edum, Aboabo, rural areas, and those places. Okay, so we do a site study to make us understand the various situations around the site, how suitable the site is for our design. Okay, so from there, we go into our brief studies where we think about the individual's facilities that are going into what we are doing. Maybe the driver's space, the hospital space, the space for the nurse, and those things. Okay, so after doing that, we have a general overview of what we are doing. Then we come down to design, where we put all those informations from here and the previous one together, where we think about how it's going to be constructed, how it's going to look nice, how effective it's going to be, our constructional methods, elements and things that are going into place. For this mobile clinic, we are actually targeting Ghana. So we want to think of the materials that are available in Ghana, how they are going to work, and how we Ghanaians can build with our local materials so that we can solve our own personal problems and not depend solely on the international bodies. Okay, so from there, putting all those ideas together, we get a design. So from the design in architecture, we have a common language. So we go into plans that people may understand how the facility actually works. So this is basically the plan. We have a dispensary, a council unit, a consulting room, a washroom, which is all disabled accessible. Okay, so we have sections, elevations, and 3D impressions to communicate our information very well. To understand it further, this is the colored portion of it. This is the west elevation, the east, the south, and the north, where we have doors, vents, and all. So let me talk about materials. From materials, I was thinking of bamboo and bamboo canes, which are basically found in Ghana with simple technologies, and then we have a tent material for the covering, which is not basically like the normal cars that we see, but then these are materials that are readily available in Ghana, and our people actually work with them, so they have knowledge about how it goes, so we're able to produce something out of it. Okay, and then for disabled friendly, we have a ramp, and we have a hydraulic press, which is used for the disabled, to access the washrooms and storage. So this is basically the design. This is on site, the site that we're talking about, and this is the final 3D impression. Thank you very much.
On site, does it mean that it's the only specific place that you're going to be able to send it to?
We had different sites that we studied. Actually, here we had different sites that we studied, but then you would have to go in for a specific one that you think is very suitable. The venue that we selected is actually prone to those issues. They don't have a clinic at the moment, so if you send this facility there, it's going to benefit the people in general. So that's why we selected that facility.
You know, essentially, most of the rural areas in Ghana here do not have quality, or the roads are very poor. How suitable, how convenient is this going to be on these roads?
For the roads, okay. In terms of that, I think the vehicle is actually designed in a suitable way that it could fit the roads. It's not too below the ground, so it's actually high, so it doesn't have issues with the potholes that we have in Ghana. So I think it's going to be suitable for the roads.
Okay. And so essentially this is a mobile clinic that you've designed targeted at people with abuse cases, drug abuse, it can be drug abuse, and disaster areas. Just like recently we had flood happening or occurring at some parts of Kumasi and even the Greater Accra region. Is there any other place that you've targeted as well?
Actually, we targeted Edum, and then there was Abu Abu also fell. You see, recently there was news about Nana Banamo visiting the place, about trauma issues and all. People had serious cases over there. So if this facility was accessed at that place, I think it would have helped her interview and help people to recover from all those abuses. Yeah.
So in the end, that's exactly what you want to achieve with this particular mobile clinic. You know, obviously there are other mobile clinics already in the system. How different is yours going to be, or you're just it's just a copy of the normal ones that we have?
Not necessarily, but then as I said earlier, we have studies on those clinics and how they work. So basically it solves the basic needs of it, but then its genuinity comes from how it's being constructed, the materials it's being used, because basically we are planning on having everything in Ghana. So it's being constructed in Ghana, its materials are readily available in Ghana. So that's the uniqueness, and it's actually very different. If you can see from here, it's actually different from the normal ambulances that we have in Ghana.
Obviously, this is something that we really wish that it finally comes up genuinely. But have you thought of funding? How you're going to be able to make this come, not just remain on the paper, but then be brought up in reality to really achieve what you want to achieve? How have you decided to get funds for this?
Okay, for funding, genuinely we don't actually have an ideal place, but then what I think as a student is that if we as the youths continue to sit down and wait for help from up, which is the government and those things, it actually slows down development. So I think from it materials being founded in Ghana and its construction and those things, we the students could take it up. If we could have a little support from the university or the lecturers or people who are actually close by, who have a little here and there that we could sum up together to realize this dream, I think that would help instead of sitting down for a mega blow something.
Thank you so much. Right. Miss Josephina Dutu is one of the architecture students who has also come up with the same concept, the same clinic, mobile clinic, to make sure that they solve some challenges in the country. And so let's also get to hear from her the explanations she's got for her project. So take us through what exactly, how you started and the end result, what you have come up so far.
Okay, so basically I started from forefathers, the nomads, right, where they move from places to places just because of vegetation to feed their cattle, right. Now they move in, they have to pack everything they built up, right, and send it with them. So if they built up tents, they have to pack these tents back, which is quite hectic. So now that we are seeing that modernism and technology has come in, we have to virtually make everything easier, right? So that's where we started everything from, right? Where we have the nomads. And so this picture here was trying to depict our local setting, what was happening then. And this is like foreign things that are coming in, how everything is being put together. They are also mobile structures. Yeah. So with our intro, let me explain with our intro, that's just as I said, the nomads, we took everything from them, how they behaved when it comes to these things, right? So with my thinking process, now we were given a brief, where now the brief has to do with where, for me, I took my waiting area because it's a clinic. My waiting area, the OPD, that's the outpatient department, the dispensary. Then since it's a laboratory for, since it's a clinic, for disabled people, right? So those who abuse drugs, those who are abused physically, then also those who have gone through all this trauma because they've lost their relatives, their loved ones to all these disasters. So these are the people we are basically designing for. So that's our target group here. So as I said, my brief had to do with my waiting room, my OPD, my doctor's room, that's the consultant's room, then a small lab for the those who abuse drugs, right, to test the amount of drugs they have in there, so that they'll be able to tell, okay, this amount of drugs is what you have, and so we can't give you to this extent of, yeah, so that is basically it. And because it's African, I wanted to incorporate a courtyard, because we believe as Africans that our courtyard is where we have our gatherings and all these, and even for ventilation sakes. Right, so I wanted to incorporate the courtyard system too. So these were my thinking processes, right? So I took my idea from the accordion, the musical instrument, the accordion, and the Chinese fan, how it works. So the accordion can open up, give more room. The Chinese fan can also open up, right, give a larger area there. So those were my ideas. And so these were some of the thinking processes I went through. Now, joining these two, I came up with why, because the initial thing was the accordion coming out throughout, but then there was an issue where, how is this thing going to work? Because if the accordion should come all the way this way, how is this going to work? How is it going to be stable? So then I had to rethink it. That means I have to reduce the length at which it will go, right? So then I finalized on going on just a particular diameter of it. Yeah. So with the plan, realized that now this is where the accordion concept came in, right? Where it comes out here. So when I come in, I go to my OPD. As a patient, I go to my OPD. I sit down, wait for the doctor if I have to see him, right? So now when it's my turn to go in, now I move here using, this is a ramp, it's foldable, using scaffold boards. So it's foldable. This is my ramp, I go in here. This is my main entrance, right? So then when I come here, right, I see this person here who is actually working with a dispensary and also more like a receptionist kind of for the facility. So he directs you then to where you have to go, whether to the doctor's office or to the laboratory, which is here. So then we move in, have whatever discussion you want to have with the doctor, come out here. If you need any drug, he gives it to you. If he can't give it as of that moment, you come down, wait here. Now there are holes here, right, that he can pass it through. Mention your name and pass it through, right? So that's basically it for the facility in terms of plan. Now this side is for the storeroom. So since everything is movable and foldable, the chairs and everything, the tables, everything will be packed in here, right? So that's our washroom here. So then I even have it on block plan, right? So this is with the site, in relation to the site, how it's going to look. So this is the area view of the main site, right? Then when it comes to the plan of it, the master plan and the block plan. So this in relation to the north, right? So this is it on site, when it's unpacked on site. So this also has to do with how it's set up, right? So when it's packed up, this is how everything is look when everything is packed up. So first of all, we move out our stairs, we unfold this, the fan-like structure here. Then we raise this part of it. This is actually one of the walls, right? But it's foldable. You can actually raise it up or bring it down, right? Then you mount up your ramp here, which is also foldable, or you can dismantle easily. So that's how everything is set up here, right? So these are 3D impressions to it, right? And so when it's packed, this is how it's going to look pictorially. So with this area, I used a mat just to incorporate local feeling in there. Yeah, and with the color scheme, I actually use white for everything because it's for the abuse. It's for people who are abusing drugs. I just wanted them to get a neutral feeling, no confusion anywhere. So I decided to go all white. Yeah. Yes. So just as I said on the sheet, right, now when I come in here as an individual or a patient, I move in here where my OPD is. Now, this is how it looks when it's packed, where all these are dismantled, right? So when it's unpacked, this is how it's going to be. I come in here as OPD, sit and wait here. Then when it's my turn, I move up this ramp, right, and go up there. I go up there. Now this is where my dispensary is. Then this is my doctor's room and my laboratory. So that's basically it. The storeroom here. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And have you ever anywhere thought about how you're going to be able to fund, get money to make sure you are able to bring this up to achieve your targets? Okay,
so I would say that since you are using the natural, shall I say waste that we have, the things we consider as waste, right? Now we are using our local manpower or labor, right? So there are people, even the art students, if we should collaborate with the art students, right? We realize that some of them are even good with metalworks, right? We get them to join, we bring this up. So we getting fundings, we can write to institutions, architectural firms, hospitals even, yeah. So that's that way.
Thank you so much. So you heard from Ms. Josephine Edu, and earlier that's Ms. Nyako Sarah actually. So these are KNUST students, architecture students who have been able to design or come up with a concept to attend or address the issue of disability and people with drug abuse, etc. It is a mobile clinic that can be able to drive all the way to remote or rural areas in the country to address the health needs and concerns of people within those areas where electricity is not available. These are beautiful concepts. These students have wonderful ideas. That's not all. There are other things within the institution which need to be broadcast and let it out to the government and stakeholders to also come and take up this concept to make sure they use it to solve some of our national problems. This is Tech TV KNUST, and my name is John Essien. Thank you.